This young queen has successfully raised her first daughters beneath the leaf litter of the rainforest floor. The nutritious fungus she fed them as larvae is now dwindling. If they don't find food quickly, they will all starve. The juicy grubs nearby are a staple meal for many underground opportunists, but for now at least, they will go ignored. This budding Atacephalotus leaf-cutter colony has only one viable source of food, and it must be collected above ground. These rove beetle larvae are distant relatives of the European devil's coach horse. Despite a few million years of separation, they share the same carnivorous appetite, razor-sharp pincers, and most importantly, a fearsome final form. The small scouting party of minor workers could lead any number of deadly jungle creatures back to their undefended queen. They will need time and luck on their side. The workers have located a patch of young seedlings, just what they were looking for. The leaves are soft enough to be sliced up with ease and carried back to the nest. The harvested leaf chunks are not eaten directly. Instead, they are used by the very smallest minim workers to cultivate a nutritious fungus. The ants' activities outside the nest have not gone unnoticed. They are being watched. The most accessible leaves are located to the north of the nest entrance. However, another atta colony has already laid claim to them. The close proximity of these nests places the two colonies in direct competition with one another. Time will tell which has the potential to grow into a great empire, and which will submit to the unforgiving law of the Undergrowth. As the sun sets below the horizon and the thick rainforest canopy shrouds all but the slightest glimmer of moonlight, the predators of the night begin to emerge. Daybreak has arrived, and the creatures of the night scurry back to the dark crevices of the undergrowth. For the ants, however, the objectives of the day remain unchanged. Locate vegetation, defend supply lines, and process leaves. There is no time for rest. A brightly patterned jumping spider, Casviri D. purpureus, has subdued one of the workers. This expert solo hunter combines extreme agility with incredible forward vision, allowing it to pounce on unsuspecting prey with pinpoint accuracy. The ants will fight to the death. Leafcutters aren't the only ants nearby. Whilst the two atta colonies joust for territory, Odontomachus bowery trapjaws roam the clearing. They can be found hunting alone or in small packs for vulnerable invertebrates to take back to their nest. They use snapping jaws to bludgeon their targets, exerting 300 times their body weight in a single blow. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. Night falls, and under the cloak of darkness, velvet worms, bush crickets, and harvestmen emerge from their hiding places. Any ant straying from the relative safety of the trail will likely meet with an unfortunate end. The leafcutters have raised their first major ant, Its swollen head is filled with muscle to power its crushing jaws. Few stand against it in combat and escape unscathed. This champion warrior will make a fine addition to the colony. The battle has begun. The battle has begun. An ant has fallen prey to a wandering harvestman. Its long, slender legs keep its vulnerable body elevated high above the leaf litter, and when threatened, it can release strong-smelling odors to deter other predators. A stern response will be needed to drive this striding nuisance away. A young velvet worm, Oroperipatis ecuadoriensis, is lurking overground. These ancient mysterious predators are masters of ambush. They creep toward their unwitting victims silently on soft, hollow legs. Once in range, they squirt oscillating streams of slime, forming a wide net that entraps their prey. The battle has begun. As the sun rises over the treetops above, the diurnal jungle invertebrates emerge once again to replace their nighttime counterparts. The ants will remain steadfast in their efforts. All must be risked for the harvest. A Paracanthus varius bush cricket has spotted the ants. Its thorax and appendages are adorned with sharp protruding spikes, offering 360 degrees of protection and turning its substantial forelegs into a pair of deadly flails. This spiny devil will not easily be deterred. The ants have subdued their rivals and achieved dominion over the clearing. As the competition withers, they will extend their territory in all directions, firmly establishing their agricultural empire. One day this colony will number in the millions. This small leafcutter colony has established a foothold in a clearing near the base of a tree. Their location provides prime access to lucrative harvesting grounds which have gone unchallenged for the past few weeks. However, unbeknownst to the ants, the peace is about to be broken. A scourge is drawing in. It will be here by morning. These rogue beetle larvae pose a serious threat to the minin workers. They will need to be exterminated quickly. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. Several meters south of the nest, a legion of nomadic Essaton Berkeley army ants are preparing to march. They set up camp late last night, and will now conduct daily swarming raids on the surrounding areas until they see fit to move on. This humble leafcutter stronghold will soon lie directly in their path. The army ants have arrived. They will sweep eastward, swarming everything they find. Larvae-filled ant colonies are particularly ripe for culling. Only a substantial defensive force with the right tools to repel the aggressors will be left alone. The leafcutters must prove to the invaders that they are more trouble than they are worth. If the army ants can be pushed back beyond leafcutter territory, they will likely give this area a wide berth until it's time for them to relocate their nest. Occasionally, scouts will head out from the swarm frontier in search of live prey for the Horde. If they find anything of significance, they will call for reinforcements. A battalion of soldiers can respond in seconds. The army ants are extending their foraging activities. Space is running out. As dusk sets in, the army and foraging activity begins to settle. The Aceton forces are reconvening to join a giant bivouac formed of their own bodies where they will wait out the night. For the Atters, this is the perfect opportunity to stockpile leaves. The battle has begun. The battle has begun. The jungle stirs. The sound of panicked arthropods running from danger can be heard throughout the leaf litter, and the ant birds are circling overhead. The swarm has returned. The battle has begun. The ants will fight to the death. The ants must defend themselves. The aceton soldier lines are bearing down on the nest. The leaf cutters are about to be overrun. The army ants are finding the atta colony difficult to deal with. Less troublesome prey can be found elsewhere. The leafcutters have been spotted by a troop of army ant scouts. If any escape, they will call for reinforcements. The Atta soldiers managed to prevent the army ant scouts from returning to the swarm. As daylight fades, the army ferries the last of the day's spoils back to the bivouac for the evening feast. They will return at first light. The battle has begun. The ants must defend themselves. The ants must defend themselves. Free reign of the harvesting grounds is about to be cut short. The swarm has mobilized. After taking significant losses in their efforts to subdue the Leafcutters, the swarm raiders have been pushed back. The Leafcutters must press on to keep them at bay. The Leafcutters have been spotted by a troop of army ant scouts. If any escape, they will call for reinforcements. Against impossible odds, the soldiers of the Atta stronghold met the tyrannical intruders with ferocious defiance time and time again. Unable to break their lines and after tremendous losses, the army ant swarm has finally elected to move on. For the Leafcutters, the ultimate trial is over. This Solenopsis invicta fire ant queen has landed on the edge of a swamp. She may be far from her native habitat, but the fire ants are well known for their ability to adapt. Competition for food will be fierce. She will need to raise an army quickly to compete with the local predators. The ants have uncovered a group of hungry checkered beetle larvae. The soft grubs may look defenseless, but they have big jaws and appetites to match.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. The colony is starving. There's not enough food to feed the new brood. There are intruders in the nest. There are intruders in the nest.
Even in small numbers, the fire ants are menacing, but in large numbers, they are virtually unstoppable. A fully developed checkered beetle, Enoclerus rosmarus, has been disturbed by the ants. It has the same ravenous appetite and slicing jaws as its juvenile counterpart, but now paired with thick armor plates, it represents a far greater danger to the colony.
The colony is starving. There's not enough food to feed the new brood.
As the sun sets, the local amphibians begin to emerge from moist crevices near the water's edge. Lone invertebrates will be picked off quickly. The ants should travel in numbers or not at all. A bombardier beetle, Brachinus alternans, is hunting for insects outside the nest. It may seem unwise for it to wander so freely amongst the large amphibians that share the swamp at night, but they would do well to leave it alone. This beetle is a master of chemical warfare. At night, eastern narrow-mouthed toads patrol above ground looking for food. Ants make up 75% of their diet, so the small colony must stay alert. To make matters worse, they are excellent diggers. It's only a matter of time before one tunnels its way into the nest.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
The colony lies in the shadow of a great titan to the north, an American bullfrog. This large female has found the perfect spot to feed. Sheltered by foliage and in the path of many wandering insects and smaller amphibians, she has no reason to move on. Eventually she will need to be displaced, but for now, the fire ants have more pressing business to attend to. A magnolia green jumping spider, Lysoman viridis, has ambushed a fire ant. It prefers to hunt on foliage, where it is less likely to be spotted by predators and prey alike. Out on the ground it's more vulnerable, but that won't stop it from snacking on lone ants far from the safety of the nest. Many of the milkweed plants growing nearby are infested with aphids. Their honeydew excretions present an ideal, energy-rich food source for the fire ants. Aphids far from the nest are vulnerable, however, and are sometimes relocated closer to home where they can be better protected from predators and thieves. The boggy soil surrounding the nest is lacking in nitrogen and phosphorus, nutrients vital for plants to photosynthesize and grow. To survive in this environment, some have evolved to supplement their mineral diet by trapping and dissolving invertebrate prey. A curious ant has ventured onto a Venus flytrap in search of nectar. If it brushes against the hairs on the open, red-tinged leaves, they will snap shut, encasing the ant in an ever-tightening cell. There is no escape. The prisoner will be slowly digested until nothing more than a husk remains. Defenseless caterpillars exposed on the underside of leaves are a welcome snack for the passing fire ants. The colony should take advantage while it can. Few meals surrender so willingly. A small colony of Phaedulae maurici big-headed ants have established themselves on a hill to the west. Scavenging for seeds, aphids, and dead insects, they are unlikely to pose a threat to the Invicta colony, if left undisturbed. A wasp-manted fly, Climachala brunea, has descended from her perch into the path of the ants. Unrelated to true mantids, her spiked raptorial forelegs are a perfect example of convergent evolution. The ants have been attracted to secretions of nectar produced by a yellow pitcher plant. In order to feed, however, the ants must position themselves precariously over a deep vat of digestive liquid. Waxy deposits on the rim ensure that any ant that steps too far in won't be stepping out again.
The ants must fight.
A six-spotted tiger beetle, Cichindala sexcutata, is on the move near the nest. Its metallic green elytra make it unmistakable, and like its other tiger beetle cousins, long legs give it the speed to chase down small arthropods with ease. The fire ants have encountered a tribe of Monomorium minimum black ants. These tiny little ants may seem feeble, but the Invicta colony would do well to treat them with caution. Although primarily scavengers, they are armed with powerful chemical secretions and have been known on occasion to invade fire ant nests. Once again, dusk sets in over the swamp. Soon, the sandy undergrowth will be teeming with salamanders, toads, and nocturnal beetles. The Monomoria minimum colony is almost defeated. The Invicta army must press their advantage. The little black ants fought to the last to defend their queen. Now the Invicta colony will enjoy the spoils of war. Defenseless larvae from the vanquished colony will be carried home and fed to the victor's own hungry brood. An ant has been devoured by Eurichea quadradicitata, a dwarf salamander. It is nimble, fast, and slender enough to wiggle through tight crevices in search of food. For the swamp amphibians, the nighttime feast is over. Toads give way to tiger beetles, and the ant colonies step up their activities. If the fire ants are to stand any chance of establishing a long-lasting empire, they must grow quickly. There is no time to waste. Puccetia viridans, the green lynx spider, has set a trap under the lid of a yellow pitcher plant. Dangling precariously over the pitcher's corrosive soup, the lynx waits patiently. Time after time, insects attracted by the scent of nectar conveniently present themselves at her feet. The fire ants and big-headed ants have met in their first skirmish. Sensing the new danger, the Maurici colony responds by awakening ancestral super soldier genes in selected brood, feeding them until their heads are engorged with muscle. The Maurici colony has fallen, their champions spent, and their queen vanquished. In the end, they could not stand up to the might of the Invicta army. The fire ants have mounted their first attack upon the great American bullfrog Litabates scatesbianus. The brave frontline soldiers are quickly crushed and eaten. They must surround and swarm the enormous creature to stand any chance of defeating it. Again and again, soldiers clamp onto the bullfrog's leathery skin and inject their Solenopsis venom, but the beast shows no signs of wavering. The fire ants must maintain their resolve. Overwhelmed with burning venom, the bullfrog finally succumbs to the might of the fire ants. Utterly spent, it collapses on the hillside, leaving the victors free to consume its body. Unbeknownst to the ants, the presence of the bullfrog was keeping many other local amphibians at bay. Left behind is attracting a host of salamanders and frogs eager to take its place. The ants should go to ground quickly and prepare for the imminent chaos.
The ants will fight to the death.
As the anarchy above ground settles and with the invaders crushed, a new order is established. This is now the domain of the Fire Ant. This Fire Ant Queen has traveled for miles on her nuptial flight, finally landing atop a sandy mound deep in the swamp. The vantage point might seem like an ideal home, but it may be short-lived. This whole area is liable to flooding, and nearby rainfall is already causing the groundwater to rise. Exhausted and without her wings, the Queen is unable to move on alone. But if she can amass enough daughters in time, the colony as a whole may stand a chance. Many nearby creatures have already been washed out of their homes by the rising water. A lucky few have been deposited on the shores east of the nest. As more arrive, tensions will rise. There isn't space here for everyone. False bombardier larvae are burrowing through the earth surrounding the nest. They are already large and will hold their ground against small groups of ants.
There are intruders in the nest. The ants must defend themselves.
The boggy earth at the base of the mound is now saturated, and as night approaches, the water begins to creep closer. The new arrivals will rush to higher ground, heading straight for the nest. There is nowhere else to go. Food is abundant, but as the floodwater begins to rise, the ants will quickly lose access to the lower lands. A great blue skimmer, Libellula vibrans, hunts overhead. This fantastic aerial predator shouldn't cause any trouble for the ants. That is, unless it decides to land in their way. The inundation has slowed, and fewer creatures are washing up to the east. The ants have an opportunity to explore for food, but there are other dangers at night. Moist-skinned amphibians have come out to take advantage of this new water world, harvesting lost insects displaced from their burrows. An ant has found itself entangled on the sticky tentacle of a dwarf sundew. As it tries to struggle free, more tentacles are drawn in, drowning the victim in thick mucilage. A pinewood's tree frog, Gila femoralis, has wandered into the trail. This one has taken a break from mate calling for a quick meal, and it seems that ants are on the menu.
The ants will fight to the death. An ant has fallen victim to a carnivorous plant. The battle has begun.
Continued rainfall is about to bring another torrent flushing through the bog, carrying with it a slew of ill-tempered arthropods.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. The ants must fight. The ants will fight to the death. An ant has fallen victim to a carnivorous plant.
With nowhere to drain, the floodwater creeps ever nearer to the nest. Already cramped and irritated, a panic ensues, and the refugees scramble for higher ground.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
News of the insect feast has spread across the swamp. With growing numbers of amphibians patrolling the waters, the Invictor's scavenging expeditions will need to be well defended. A colony of little black ants marooned on a smaller section of the mound may be reachable if the fire ants join together to bridge the gap. An eastern newt, Notophalmus viridations, is devouring ants. Growing up to 10 centimeters in length, it dwarfs other creatures on the mound. Its red skin is toxic and serves as a warning to potential predators.
The ants must fight.
As the water draws ever nearer, more insects begin to wash up on the bank. The Invicta colony must maintain control or risk being overrun. Again, the floodwaters rise. The washed-up invertebrates panic, and a stampede ensues. The Invicta soldiers must form ranks quickly.
The ants will fight to the death.
The little black ants have been defeated. The fire ants must pillage the nest quickly and hurry home while they still can. As if the colony didn't already have enough to deal with, the great blue skimmer has chosen this moment to touch down right outside the nest. Unchecked, this titan of the sky will no doubt as if the colony didn't disrupt colony activities. But if the soldiers are able to bring her down, the rewards could be mighty. Crippled by relentless stings, the great skimmer's attempts to flee became ever more futile. Finally collapsing atop the mound, she succumbs to the fire ants. Dismemberment will follow.
The ants must defend themselves. The battle has begun.
The pond continues to swell, finally drowning what remains of the Monomorium colony. The fire ants watch as it sinks into the murky depths, foreshadowing their own demise. Another surge advances, spreading a desperate frenzy throughout the beached survivors. The Invicta colony must leave now, or prepare their last stand. Time has run out. The Invicta colony must gather atop the mound. They won't get another chance. By joining their bodies together to form a giant raft, the fire ants were able to ferry the queen from the mound just as the nest filled with water. Their perils are not over, but they've shown great resilience and an ability to survive in this harsh environment. Wherever they land, the creatures of the swamp will quickly come to know the might of the fire ants.